Beautiful, beautiful night, Gremlins. Welcome back to the Dead Soup Chronicles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this might be a little bit unhinged today. I hope you got the caffeine ready because tonight I'm just running on vibes and panic and whatever unholy creatures living in the attic of the facility that I'm working in. Just kidding. So basically, let's buckle up, sip some caffeine like it's holy water, and let's dive into some real legends. Guaranteed to make you question every noise your house makes after 10 p.m. Yeah, let's do it. I found some really cool ones. We're going to go right on into it. And listen, this one is a little bit weird. I heard this story when I was a kid, so I wanted to look it up and read it to you guys. And I found it. So listen, this is called The Crooked Man of Coldbriar Ridge. Have you ever heard of it? If you have, let me know. Coldbriar Bridge is one of those places folks in the Appalachian Highlands do not talk about unless the sun's out and there's a Bible within reach. It sits off of an old logging road near Tennessee line. All drop-offs and pines so thick they choke out the moonlight. If you ever climb it, you'll notice something is strange and something is off. Ain't no birds chirping up there. Squirrels ain't rustling. Ain't a bug brave enough to chirp crickets. Anyways, just the wind if you're lucky. Just the crooked man if you ain't. Now, the story starts in 1911 when a fellow named Josiah Pritchard moved into a cabin halfway up the ridge. Josiah wasn't well liked, but he wasn't hated either. He was just misunderstood. A quiet man, tall, lanky, had a stoop on his shoulders like he was always ducking under something. Some folks blamed it on a mining accident. Others said he was born bent, like a sapling twisted by a storm. He lived alone. He hunted alone, talked mostly to himself, though more than one person swore that he talked to something else out in the woods. Ooh. See, Coldbriar Ridge wasn't empty, not even back then. People said there was an old burial ground atop, older than the Cherokee, older than any settlers, stone piled in ways no human hand could stack, carvings no one could read, the kind of place you pass on the way somewhere else. Thank God you didn't trip. Josiah didn't avoid it. He visited it. He visited at night with a lantern. It never seemed to run out of flame. The trouble started in late autumn when hunters began disappearing. 3 men went missing that first month. They leave camp with rifles and dogs, and they'd never come back. Search parties combed the ridge from top to bottom. They found rifles, snapped in half like twigs, found footprints that stopped mid-stride, like the men had been lifted right off the face of the earth. No. Worst of all, they found the dogs. Oh, no. Or what was left of them. I fucking hate that. Kill the people, whatever, but don't. Their bodies were bent. Not broken, bent. As if every bone had been softened first, then twisted into knots. By Christmas, folks were saying Josiah had gone bad. That maybe he'd found something up on the ridge, something that promised him strength or power or life everlasting, and that whatever he had been talking to out there had started talking back. Then came the night the lanterns' lights started showing up, dozens of them. People down in the valley swore they saw flickers crawling along the ridgeline, little orange lights weaving through the trees, too smooth, too fast to be held by human hands. Some said they moved like fireflies, others said they moved like eyes. By spring, it wasn't just lanterns, it was screams, long, drawn out, bone-deep howls that rolled down the mountain in the dead of night, sometimes sounding like men, sometimes like something that hadn't been human since the world was young. The sheriff finally sent a posse up to Josiah's cabin. Took 6 men, all armed, all shaking. Took 2 preachers to walk behind them reading Psalms 91. And still, not one of those men wanted to be first through the door. They found the cabin empty, cold, like no one had been there in weeks. But the floorboards were carved, deep, desperate scratches like someone had clawed at them trying to hold on while being dragged away. And in the center of the room, laid out in a perfect circle of ashes, was a trail of footprints. Bare footprints, longer than any human's, crooked, like the bones inside them weren't right. Those tracks walked up the walls, up the ceilings, and disappeared through the boards like the creature had stepped into the sky. The men left, as they should, fast, and nobody's lived on the ridge since. But the legend didn't end there. Folks say that the Crooked Man still wanders Cold Briar Ridge, Aya, or what's left of him, twisted by whatever he woke up on that mountain. They say he doesn't walk right. His legs are bent wrong, arms drag the ground, and his head turns all the way around when he listens for footsteps. You'll know he's near when the woods go silent. You'll hear the crunching of leaves, but not from where you think. Sometimes it's above you, like he's crawling through the treetops. Sometimes below, like he's beneath the ground waiting for you to step into the wrong place. And if you see a lantern flickering through the trees, you don't follow it. You don't call out. And for God's sakes, you don't try to run down that hill. He's faster that way. Because the Crooked Man loves the dark. He loves the ridge. And most of all, he loves company. They say you don't take your body, it takes your shape. We know what the fuck does. Bend you into something that's got to fit beside him. And the burial ground on top. Just another twisted figure with lantern eyes, wandering the ridge line at night. So if you ever camp near Cold Briar Ridge and hear footsteps circling your tent, or hear a song, creaking voice whisper, "No, you the fuck you didn't. That room full of more," it'll whisper, you don't look outside. Don't open that zipper. Don't breathe too loud. Because if he knows you're awake, he'll want to see how bendy you are. I mean, if you ask nicely. No, first of all, first rule of the mountain food. If you see something strange, no, fuck you didn't. No, you didn't. Listen, my best friend called me this morning. He was like, almost got by a Wendigo. Walker. I don't know what the fuck it was. I was like, no, you didn't. She's like, I did. So she's taking her dog out, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And where her house is, there's like a house across the street, but then there's like fields, open area, like just, clear, right? But she's out there for all of like 2 seconds, and she hears, hey, he looks around. She don't see shit. She's like, oh, hell no. She almost said something back. What's this? This is in North Carolina. You fucking know better. So she's like, all right, talking to her dog, hurry up, fucking pissed. Then she hears it again. She said, she got the fuck back inside so fucking fast. And then grabbed her knife to walk to her car so she could go to work because she was scared. Yeah, we don't acknowledge that shit. But that was creepy when I heard that story when I was a kid. There was another one I wanted to read. Go through my notes. The Last Light on Miller Bridge. Let's see. If you ever find yourself driving the back roads outside a little place called Harker's Bend, there's an old wooden bridge folks around here know better than to cross after midnight, and it's called Miller's Bridge. If you ask the locals why, they'll tell you, because that's where the lights go out. Not the headlights, not the street lights. They don't exist out there anyway. Your lights, the ones that come from inside you. The legend starts with a woman named Claire Hensley, a nurse who worked the night shift at the county hospital back in the late 90s. She took a shortcut home over Miller Bridge, a cracked groaning of timber, barely wide enough for a single car. She was exhausted, down on her feet, and the fog was thick as a graveyard's breath. Halfway across the bridge, she saw a light. Just a small, warm glow, like a lantern swaying gently in the fog. Thinking someone's car had broken down, Claire slowed. That's when she noticed it didn't reflect on her windshield. It didn't cast a shadow. It didn't brighten the boards beneath it. Just floated. She rolled down her window, just a crack, and the cold that seeped in was not natural. It had weight to it, like something pressed its forehead to her skin. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Then she heard a voice, low, calm, too close. Say please, motherfucker. She jerked her head around. No one's there. The lantern drifted closer, swaying like it was being carried by invisible hands. Then the voice again, right behind her ear. Turn it. Claire did the exact opposite. She slammed her foot on the gas and shot across the bridge so fast her tires screamed. But when she looked in the rearview mirror, the light wasn't behind her anymore. It was in the back seat. Just for a second, just long enough to convince her she wasn't falling asleep or imagining things, long enough to see a face illuminated by that lantern glow. Eyes wide, mouth slack, skin the color of drowned things. Claire made it home somehow, though she didn't remember the drive. She quit the night shift the next morning and refused to cross Miller's Bridge again. And here's where the legend gets worse. Because people say the lantern is still out there, still waiting on the bridge, still whispering to anyone foolish enough to stop. But the real warning, the one you need to hear, comes from the sheriff's logs. When they found Claire's car later that week, after she'd left town entirely, they noticed something carved in the inside of her windshield. Not scratched, not etched, carved. 3 words, deep as a knife wounds. I turned it off. Mm-mm. Nobody knows what that meant, but people around Harker's Bend will tell you. If you see that lantern on Miller's Bridge, don't stop, don't slow down, and whatever you do, do not turn off your lights. Because if you do, you might see he's holding that lantern, and they've been waiting a long, long time to be seen. Insane. Sometimes people are a little bit too brave for me. Mm, here's one somebody sent me. The Haint and the Hollow Road. I haven't read it yet, so we're going to find this out together. Whatever. Folks around Sawdust Hollow will tell you that there's two kinds of roads in the Appalachian Mountains. Appalachian. Folks around Sawdust Hollow will tell you that there's two kinds of roads in the Appalachian Mountains. The ones you travel and the ones you leave the hell alone. Ain't that the fucking truth? And at the very bottom of that list is a twisting little stretch of dirt called the Old Fester Road. Place locals say even the coyotes won't cross after dark. Just the trees, fog, and 100 years worth of silence that seems too heavy for something not alive to be holding up. Unfortunately for me, I'm recording at work tonight. I'm on my break, which is almost up. So it's a really, really old, I guess, mansion. It was a house they built on it and built on it. It's been converted into a homestead for wonderful human beings with disabilities that I take care of. But it's haunted as fuck. Okay. And it's creepy as fuck. And it has fucking lights off. Other than my fucking light. It's like it knows that I'm telling creepy shit. So it's like being weird. We're gonna get into an episode about that too, because I've had some experiences here that I wanna go over. Anyways, let's get back into this. Mm. It's just trees, fog, and 100 years worth of silence. It seems too heavy for something not alive to be holding up. Most people in the hollow don't talk about what lives out there, but the old timers, they whisper about the caller. Freak me the fuck out. Back in the 1940s, before folks had electricity, Betty, enough to trust, a woman named Ellie Baxter lived alone near the road's bend. Sweet woman, kept chickens, canned peaches, sang old hymns while she swept her porch, but she had this habit of never going outside at night, wouldn't even fetch firewood after sundown. She said there was something in the woods that called her name. Mm, oh God, we know what that is. That it sounded like her mama, even though her mama had been dead 10 years. Nobody believed her, not until the night Ellie disappeared. Her neighbors heard her screen door slam around midnight, heard her footsteps on the gravel, heard a voice, soft, familiar, call out, Ellie, that you, honey? They ran outside with lanterns, expecting to see someone from town, but the road was dark. It was still, dead quiet. Always is. Only thing on the ground was Ellie's lantern, burning, steady, but she was gone. No tracks, no signs of struggle, just the smell of cold earth and creek water, like something had climbed out of the ground and walked away. Search parties combed these woods, nothing. But folks started hearing it. Voice. Sometimes it sounded like their mama, sometimes like their husband, sometimes like a little child bawling in the brush. Always someone they knew, and always someone they trusted. But it only called after dark, and it always called from deeper in the woods. Years went by, and the legend grew. Hunters refused to track deer past sundown. Teenagers dared each other to walk to the curve at the end of where Ellie vanished. They never passed it. And then, about 5 years ago, a man named Dale Carter, a logger with more beard than sense, said he heard his own brother calling from the tree line, his brother who had died the year before. Dale stepped towards their voice. Just once. No. Just far enough that his boot crossed the ditch beside the road. Mm-mm. He swears to this day that something cold wrapped around his ankle. Not a hand, not an animal, something longer, something that slithered. Pulled him so hard he hit the dirt, face first. When his buddies dragged him back, his boot was gone, snatched into the woods like it had been swallowed. Dale says that as they lit their lanterns, a voice came again from the dark. Dale, can't see you. Step closer. Hasn't set foot in your old Baxter Road since. Now folks say the caller ain't a person at all. It ain't a ghost, ain't a spirit, something older, something that knows exactly whose voice will make you follow. Every now and then, when the fog is heavy and the crickets go quiet, people swear they see a lantern flicker deep in the trees, swaying like someone's still holding it. Some say it's Ellie, some say it's whatever took her pretending. So if you're ever driving down old Baxter Road after dark and you hear somebody you love call your name from the woods, know you fucking did it. You keep your eyes on the road, you don't answer, and you damn sure don't step off the dirt. Because the caller already knows your voice and what it really wants. Nah. I feel like these stem from now that I've weirded myself out. Ugh. You know what though? Listen, I feel like as much as I like this stuff, it's like I'm so fucking terrified of it that I cannot stop. I can't stop watching videos that other creators create. I can't stop watching paranormal. I know a lot of people are intrigued by it. Whoa, okay. I don't know if that picked up on my audio, but I'm gonna edit this and post it because it's late today. I recorded an episode earlier, but I lost it. So if you like this, if you like me reading urban legends, if you want to come on and talk about any stories that you grew up hearing, or if you have urban legends of your own, message me, email me your stories. If you want to jump on here with me and chit chat, you can do that too. I would love it. So still trying to get my bearings. Not sure if I'm even doing this. I don't know. But I'm about to shotgun a fucking monster. I have 2 more of these. Listen. First of all, you're not telling me to cut my fucking car off second off. You were yelling for me anyway. I'm not going. I hear shit. And I hope none of my family ever gets lost in the woods, because guess what? I won't find you. I'm too scared. Like, is it really my friend that I'm looking for? Is it fine? Ow, I'm Jimmy. I know I'm looking for somebody. Listen, if you ever go hiking and you're my friend and you get lost, I'm just going to assume you're dead. Don't ever go hiking. All right. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening. Pointers, tips, tricks, all that shit will be greatly appreciated. I really don't. You can like, comment, share, all that shit. Subscribe to my channel.